It's that time of year again. Halloween. One of my favorite holidays of the year. But here's the thing. What am I going to wear? Last year, I was the Penguin. The year before, I was Fred Flintstone. But I don't even know what to wear this year. There have been many costumes that come across this room. Comic-Con costumes and just various day-to-day costumes. But what am I going to wear for Halloween? And I'm afraid by the time I decide what to wear and finish this review, it's like, I don't know, the review is going to be released on November 7th, a week after Halloween. I mean, what kind of asshole would I be? But still, it begs the question, what am I going to review? Wait a minute, I know. How about if we bring in our celebrity guest? Hey, Thing. Hi, Thing. Oh, damn it, Anthonix. You left the glove on. You only have one take. Oh, hi, Thing. I see you are wearing one of my gloves because you're cold. Isn't that right, Thing? Okay. So, I guess I know what movie we should be reviewing. Something from the Munsters. No? Then what? Okay, I'm done with this bit. It's Addams Family Reunion. Yep. Couldn't decide. So I went with all of it. So as I was saying, it's Halloween. It's that time of year. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a while since I've done a consistent filming of the reviews just because I have so much going on at once. And also there's this magical thing that I've been experiencing, and that thing is manic depression. But no matter, this Halloween is going to be really spooky. Hence why I have this lighting. Ooh. Yeah, alright. Looking at this right now, I can clearly see this looks like a Fiona Apple music video. Some of you are too young to know what the hell I'm talking about. Remember that awesome movie that came out in the 90s? Actually, make that movies. Called Addams Family and Addams Family Values. They were an interesting set of films. They took a few liberties from the original Addams Family TV show, but they made it their own thing. And that's why those films are classics. Then, in the tradition of being a third movie, we ruined the franchise with Addams Family Reunion. Oh great, Saban, our old friend. But still, it could be good. Kind of like Power Rangers 2017.
Closer.
Nope. This is going to be Ninja Turtles The Next Mutation kind of bad. And you notice they wrote Saban in the same font as the Barry Sonnenfeld films. Oh, come on. The CGI was a joke even for 1998 standards. Also, the thing about the Addams Family is that Yeah, they had interesting creatures from time to time, like Morticia's plant, that was also a monster, but they were pretty tamed. They weren't monsters created from various elements. I mean, sure, they did have plants and occasional bear rugs, and they did have creepy elements going on in the house. But they were very seldom and they weren't that obvious. In fact, while on screen, you never really had a good look at them. You might have heard a few noises or a subtle movement. But it was because of that kind of element is what made things a bit more spooky for the first two movies and also the original TV show, because it was the unknown, and that's what built its atmosphere. It was kind of like the macabre. Well, there you go. A whole setup just to get to the damn title.
First one to score a bullseye gets to drive the mail truck.
This Wednesday, Addams, she's no Christina Ricci. Yes, she does have the creepy eyes, but when she smiles, it's too much teeth. She's not really supposed to be having fun like a psychopath. She's supposed to be more of an unfeeling sociopath. Young Darlene from Roseanne. And here is Gomez Addams, played by Dr. Frankenfurter, or Pennywise, or any 1990s cartoon villain.
Children, no matter how often you scream at them or how severely you punish them, they always beg for more.
Tim Curry, one of the world's greatest actors. But his Gomez, to this day I'm still trying to decide.
Yes. It has arrived.
Finally! I swear this overacting mailman had too much screen time. 5 minutes. Yes, 5 minutes. Did he pay some money into this film, or did he know the director, or did someone owe him a favor? What's the deal? Here's one of the original actors from the Barry Sonnenfeld films. Oh, come on, movie. Lurch has proven time and time again that he is musically inclined. The Addamses do not adhere to bizarro world rules where good is bad and bad is good and everything is opposite. Hey, it's Christopher Hart, another actor who played in the previous Addams Family films. Yeah, cool, I guess. It's a friggin' hand. And also was the hand in Idle Hands.
Oh, hey, Thing! You're just in time to see my latest creation!
They tried, but they couldn't get Christopher Lloyd to come back for this film. So instead of getting an actor to sound like Christopher Lloyd, they decided to cast an actor who would sound like Jackie Coogan from the original TV show. You heard right. Christopher Lloyd, the man who said yes to Baby Geniuses and the Oogie Loves, wanted to stay right out of this film.
You know, Pugsy's birthday's coming up. Well, what does every little boy need? A vicious attack dog!
Why a dog? Pugsley has a pet lion and a pet octopus. And technically, Thing is a pet as well. And one would think that Pugsley's birthday would come into play in this film.
And what is it that makes us the truly different people we are?
Uncle Fester, stop it, or otherwise Pornhub will be the only place I can upload this review.
Book of Addams. See this, children. Every Addams that has ever stalked the planet is now laid to rest before your very eyes.
So, brace yourself. But the plot of the film is Gomez wants to bring his family to get to know the rest of the Addams, because they hardly get to see their family, except for every other occasion in all the films and shows and all iterations. But yeah, sure, let's have this movie.
Grandmother!
Grandfather!
Grandma Addams is played by George Costanza's mom, Estelle Harris. Or the maid from Zack and Cody, you kids. And Grandpa Addams is played by Kevin McCarthy, star of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which also co-starred Caroline Jones, the original Morticia Addams. Well, that's fun! Why, you can say that's a fun fact.
You young devil, you. Your own personal Siberian firecracker.
And executioner, Clyde.
Oh, no, you're spoiling my children now, huh?
Smallpox epidemic. I hate dolls.
Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to do my best to not nitpick every single detail, but this Wednesday Addams is still a kid, and even though she still has her moods, she also still has a doll of her own that she loves very much. It's a headless doll, but she still keeps it close to her. And don't give me that whole she's getting older and don't need dolls anymore. When it was Christina Ricci playing her, she was actually over 12. This Wednesday Addams is probably 8 to 10. I don't know ages anymore at my age.
Anyone here catch the score of today's Yankee game?
That is bizarre, because the Yankees suck! Yeah, that's right. Sox fan for life.
Excellent news, everyone. We have been invited to a family reunion.
So the short of it is, the grandparents are acting normal. This triggers Gomez to take the family to the Addams Family reunion in some kind of attempt to fix them. There. That was 10 minutes that could have been shaven.
Philip! Philip, come over here and meet a few of your relatives.
Upon seeing the extended family, including Ed Begley Jr., the Addams think the entire family is turning normal. Because of a technical mix-up. Oh boy, does the fun ever start? Oh, and Pugsley suddenly wants to bang a girl that, for all he knows, is his cousin.
So, Morticia, you have a somewhat darker taste in fashion.
Oh God, it's Hillary Shepard Turner, Diva Talks herself! I was really into hating this film, but with a Power Rangers villain in it? Oh, this is the greatest movie of all time. Sorry, Avengers Endgame. Sorry, Joker. This is the film.
Caviar, madam.
No, thank you. I prefer to wait for the larval stage. You think I'm particularly live?
We get it!
And right in the center of this film, we pad the runtime with Gomez outmatching Ed Begley Jr. in every sport, Lurch falling in love with Divatox, and somewhere in there some kind of inheritance plot where Ed Begley Jr. teams up with Divatox to swindle money from their dad, who's also the same guy who played Pappy from the Popeye film. And with them thinking that the Addams, with 2 Ds mind you, are trying to ruin their inheritance, Philip and Catherine try to destroy them. Never mind the fact that the Addams are already filthy rich and very generous with their money.
And I was going to give you apples. My apologies, gentlemen.
Romance of passion comes from inside.
I give credit where credit is due. They really do their best to be like the Sonnenfeld films. Well, as best as Saban is willing to be, and as little as Saban is willing to spend his money.
Yeah, the man that laid down the heavy cash for this gig. That's right, Mr. Walter J. Addams.
Yeah, a hotel like that, full of wasps, are going to hire those guys to be DJs.
Because as for me,
I'd rather see you all roasting in the deepest pits of hell.
Here, here.
Hey, that's the same speech they gave at my college orientation.
It's one thing to beat an ant sounding sport, but that wasn't enough for you, was it? Oh no! You had just turned my own family against me.
You would think this is the final climax of the film, but nope.
This badge gives me the unsupervised, unrestricted right and responsibility to separate crying children from their terrified parents and place them in questionable foster care. You are under arrest for child abandonment, child endangerment, and child abuse.
Why are they treating this character as a villain? A social worker's job is to do what's best for family. They don't seek pleasure by separating families. It's not like they're ice. Topico! But hopefully they'll get to the bottom of where the hell baby Pubert went. And yeah, those kids end up being in foster homes or worse, group homes. And that's more of a result of a poor, underfunded American system that we have. Topico! Again.
You've done with the rest of my family.
I demand to know all the hideous details.
And yeah, the film actually does have that dark sense of humor that one can expect from Gomez and Morticia. Just don't understand why they're sharing the same cell.
What do you think we ought to do with your freaky little friend?
Well, how about that? Clint Howard can get a role without the help of his brother Ron. Just not theatrically. And speaking of Howard...
I see you like Eugene, Mordecai, and Clyde. Pretty soon, you four will be a quartet.
Okay, I'm starting to think that this Uncle Fester actor is starting to confuse the Jackie Coogan portrayal with Curly Howard from the Three Stooges.
You may bail. Hey! Walter Addams!
You look like you've been through hell and back.
Go on. You're just saying that.
Oh, Walter.
She's no Angelica Houston, but Daryl Hannah actually does a pretty good mix of Houston and Caroline Jones as Morticia.
Oh, no. I will, of course, leave that to the experts.
No.
Now, keep in mind, this is a Saban production, so this fate can either be a dark ending or just played off as a cartoonish injury. We'll just have to wait and see.
So that we had to put them in a home. Especially one with so many cheerful flowers and that awful air conditioning.
I baked a shortcake for dessert.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the grandparents. I mean, after all, they were only the reason why the Addams were going to the reunion in the first place.
Still don't understand what is keeping Philip so late at the office.
Okay, maybe a real death like the previous films.
Why the long face? Might this have something to do with a certain young lady named Gina?
No, it's just... I think I left my Siberian firecracker at those weird people's house.
Why, it's almost as if the writers forgot to write a resolution for that subplot. Holy shit! Not only Saban actually had a villain death, but they also took out the wife, the kids, the Addams grandparents, and probably everyone that lived in that city. You got balls, movie. This monocle. How would I rate this film? It's more PG than it is PG-13. There were too many subplots in this film. So much so that I either quickly skimmed over them or didn't even bother to mention them. Why? Because you can cut them out and it would have very little bearing to the plot, or no bearing at all. The movie would still continue with or without them. Addams Family Reunion tries to play on both sides of the fence. It doesn't know if it wants to be Addams Family 3 or if it's going to be a reboot, which is a TV pilot for the following Addams Family TV show that came out. So my personal feelings of this film, it's fine, that's all. It could have been worse. I've seen worse. Daryl Hannah delivered well on her role of Morticia. The rest of the cast, if I'm being generous, they were serviceable. The Wednesday actress was the only actress to continue her role on the new Addams Family TV series. And that TV series was only 1 season long. As for Tim Curry, okay, I love the actor. But as Gomez, he is no John Astin, no Raul Julia, and he just showed more Tim Curry in this. Too much curry, if you will. More curry than an Indian dish. Yes, yes. I am going to stick to the joke. Future Anthonix editing this review, keep the curry joke in. Overall, I actually liked the sexual chemistry that occurred between Tim Curry and Daryl Hannah. I mean, they're no Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, but it was still there. And the reason why it's so important to me is that it's kind of essential to the whole entire Addams Family lore. And that's why I've dragged my feet to see the new animated film, because they actually announced that they were taking all of that out of the film. Yeah, it's a kid's film, I get that. But I really think the love between Gomez and Morticia is the strength of the Addams Family. Otherwise, it would just be any other thing. But the real strength of the Addams Family is the love that Gomez has for Morticia. Curry and Hannah are a bit of a departure from Julia and Houston, but one can actually argue that Raul Julia and Angelica Houston are a huge departure from John Astin and Caroline Jones. So it's really just kind of based off of interpretation. Though, part of me is bummed that they did not use the "Tish, you spoke French" while kissing up her arm routine that they often did. I would not say this film is for me. At the same time, it's not so bad where I feel like this film destroyed the whole entire franchise. That's kind of ridiculous to me. You can treat this film as a closer of a trilogy, or treat it as a backdoor pilot of a TV series. Why am I being so generous? Well, since 1938, as a cartoon in the New Yorker, to the 1964 TV series, including all the different cartoon incarnations, and including the 90s movies, every version of Addams Family brought something new to the table. And this was all because of the brainchild of one cartoonist, Charles Addams. You know something? Chaim Saban surprised me this time. Hold on a second. Dear Chaim Saban, in all the years you have been in my life, your shows have made a huge impact on me and my imagination. The biggest influence being Power Rangers. For a while, I was getting concerned. Your ego was getting out of hand. You've bought some properties to only water them down in your attempt to make them children-friendly. I'm talking properties like Ninja Turtles, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and of course, the Addams Family. I just got through reviewing Addams Family Reunion. The movie has the vibes of a confused production, along with an emotionally distant Warner Brothers with its attempt to copy the Barry Sonnenfeld films without the darkness, sexuality, wit, or competence. Still, I knew I was watching a Saban feature, time capsuled in the late 90s, I can always rely on your cheap CGI, slapstick, and even sitcom dialogue that would make Chuck Lorre roll his eyes. Despite all that, your budget on huge name actors made this Ad-Fam film very okay. Sometimes you have bad moments like any of your straight-to-video movies or all of the Nickelodeon Power Ranger seasons. And other times, you surprise us with the 2017 Power Rangers film and the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And yes, Addams Family is perfectly centered in the middle. Closer to bad than good. And your nuggets of entertainment I take away from your stuff, I am going to include some of my cash for you. Please don't spend it all on hookers and beer. Okay, champ? Best wishes, thanks, and a happy Halloween, Anthonix Maximus. P.S. Did you underpay and overwork Tim Curry like you did the barely legal Power Ranger actors too? Well, boils and ghouls, I hope you had a spooktacular good time with this review. It was a real scream that only one can die for. So I hope you have a horror Halloween enough to drive you batty. Oh dear God. Help me stop these bone-chilling puns. I'm dead serious. Damn it. Music, play me off. No, 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 no. Knock it off. It's knock it off and this knocked off.